Sounds great.
All right, we're recording now.
Cool. So on Sunday, I was gonna do one of those sneaking past the guard things. Do you ever, when you're going out
Like
there,
at a concert or something, or what do you mean?
yeah, like there's an event. I wasn't actually officially formally invited. There's a lot of
You gate crashed. You crashed a party or you crashed an event.
I was crashing an event, but I was like, hoping to try and like be a little bit more like. So this is the 50th anniversary of the internet. I've been running around San Francisco trying to build, a better internet, trying to put these things together.
Right.
So through the grapevine, I heard that there was going to be a small gathering in Palo Alto. I think that's where a lot of Silicon Valley technology people. Things.
I hear they can congregate there in the valley.
Yeah, so at the Crown Plaza Hotel on Sunday, they were doing the 50th anniversary of the
Right
internet.
there on El Camino. Beautiful place.
So they were bringing people from like all over the world up there to go. But I had heard that they were going to be having this event there, so I decided to go and show up. And not just talking my way past the guards, I actually got to stand at the front door greeting all of these internet veterans to come in and actually like go and participate in this event, wearing my floral black blazer and also my Silly's guitar that has like a synthesizer on it. And everybody's like, "That's so cool. What is it?" And I was like, "It's technically broken right now, but it'll be working again one day." But it was a pretty exciting like moment. I met Mei Ling Fong. She's like the head of like the People-Centered Internet, co-founded with Vint Cerf, and I got to meet him too. Gave him one of my Silly's computer Post-it notes.
You nerded out.
Yeah, so he's one of the guys that like founded like the internet 50 years ago. They're celebrating his work like at that event.
Wow.
And I got to be there, so that was super special. Thinking I'm just gate crashing, but actually like being welcomed into the fold.
Yeah, because literally you go in and then you weren't trying to be covert, you were overt.
I was very overt. I was like, I'm trying to crash in here. Like, and they were like, come on over. So, the best part was, so I'm standing at the lobby of the Crown Plaza Hotel. Like, I've never been there before. What are the odds somebody in the front lobby is going to look at me and be like, "You're familiar," and then come up and talk to me? And it's like, how do I know you before? And it's like, you came to my comedy show last January. So this guy, Jonathan, has also seen you perform, Paul.
Oh, there you go.
And as he was talking to me, the other guy that had like brought me to that spot was kind of, he was putting on like this event as kind of like this logistics. He's from Colombia. He's like living in Southern California, but head of like IEEE, like a bunch of like, very in-depth technical things. But for this guy to come up and talk to me about comedy while this guy's here too, he's starting to see like, I'm actually not this like random guy walking up to crash this event. I'm actually like pretty well networked over here. So there's an opportunity that I also might be able to go to Columbia and teach workshops on this stuff.
Oh, there you go.
So that's kind of the stuff that I want to like play around with you, because we've been doing comedy, we've been doing Silly's computer stuff.
I've only been invited to Columbia once, and it was to be a drug mule, and I said no.
Oh man.
I said I'll consume it, but I just won't put it there. Anyway, and then Jonathan, yeah, that's kind of cool, running into Small World, right? And so we saw him a year ago at our favorite little The Hub in Redwood City, and that's kind of cool because has he fully recovered from my set a year ago?
I think so. He was still in shock, so maybe he had that comedian blindness, and he couldn't recognize me because he was only thinking about you.
There you go. He's been stalking me for a while now. So, okay, cool. So, brought into the fold, feeling very warm and fuzzy, and you're in this event, and tell me about it.
Yeah, and then I left shortly after that because I needed
What?
to. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You cracked the code just to go,
Yeah, I had family plans, so I mostly just went back to, with my grandma and grandpa, had some like sopes, and then just drank some beers in bed and watched football.
Here's the thing: did you think you weren't gonna get in, and so you're just going, "Hey, I'm gonna go there, putting in an appearance. They're gonna see me, and then sooner or later I'm gonna get recognized." But you got recognized sooner than you thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was like, I have an hour, so I'll like show up, see how this kind of goes. But I always had like the out, like I can't be there for long. But I think that was why I got stationed at the door, because I was like, I only can be here for an hour, and they're like, well, there's only one job that's gonna evaporate very quickly.
Oh, jeez. So that's cool, and then you got to go home and relax. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now with Silly's.
Yeah, so Silly's at this point in time is embodying knowledge. Like, so what does it take to really be able to like take on and become and like actually like learn? So with me working with you, comedy isn't this purely academic endeavor, right? You can't just go and sit down and study comedy on pen and paper.
Well, you can, but you're not going to learn what you need to learn. You have to get into the trenches just like you got to do with this stuff, right?
And that's what I'm trying to hopefully try and bridge that gap. Is like, what does it take to kind of like immerse yourself into computers the way that you would immerse yourself into comedy? And how can we kind of like bridge that gap? So yeah, if you want to cut over here.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of this has been research and trying to like make it as easy as possible for kids to get into that. But I think there's longer term implications. But I don't want to leave the kids hanging. So I think at this point, Silly's Computer is becoming this game called Elves. Like, do you want to play Elves? And creating this hypertext markup Elves where I can teach, but then you can also be learning. So if we scroll down, this section right here is kind of like a deck of cards, you know?
Okay.
So thinking about to get over here today, I ended up taking Bart. So I pulled up this magic deck of cards in my pocket called a wallet, and I ended up pulling out a Clipper card, and I was able to touch that, ride the train. So if you actually move your mouse to the far left down there, there's a little arrow. You can click to the right, and then this is actually going to go through that deck of cards, changing them over and over to be whatever that piece of software is up above. So these cards are kind of powered by elves, is the gist of it, you know?
Okay.
The same way that the Clipper card is powered by elves. The same way that Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp or Microsoft or Google or Amazon, there's technically elves underneath the hood of all of those things, right?
Right.
So if we keep scrolling down a little bit further, so this is just an interface that I'm starting to put down. That's the Internet Archive. So if you wanted to pull up pretty much anything on the internet, you'd be able to get it from inside of that little window.
Okay.
But yeah, let's scroll down the page a little bit further.
Go
now.
scroll down. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so underneath the hood, elves are hypertext. Once a player understands elves, they'll have working knowledge of all hyper systems, advancing progression of their deep technology skill tree. Under the hood, elves run the Plan 98 operating system, a technical tribute to computer history's most ambitious ideas. By understanding elven history, players may shape elven future.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Then I have a little form here to be able to fill out to stay in contact. But what I wanted to go through with you today is, you know, we're in a podcasting studio, we're recording, but part of this is also about having a script and actually being able to rehearse and be able to refine our lines together and to be able to actually capture those. I think you're a producer, actually. Maybe can you talk briefly to like what your work is like at Edge Studios Online?
Sure. It's multifaceted. It's never the same twice, and it's always an adventure. And what I mean by that is everybody has a different vision, a different dream, something they want to accomplish. Sometimes just even them trying to explain what they want to do and making it happen here in studio, that's the transition. That's where I guess the sausage is being made. And so it's challenging work because every one of our clients here is different, even though we are based on kind of almost like a gym membership kind of basis. People come in and they pay a monthly fee. They get allocated a couple hours, or depending on how many, what they pay for, they get so many hours a week, so many hours in a month to come in and record and use these studios that are pretty much self-produced. Other clients want to be just the talent and come in and have us fully produce it. And we do everything in between. And so that's kind of what my life is in a nutshell.
No, very cool. And you have like show notes? Are you pulling up like slides for people?
Sometimes. And other people were just winging it.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. There's more scripted ones. There's highly produced segments that happen in our studio. There's stuff that happens outside of our studio that we import in and roll into a feature as we're doing it. So again, everybody's needs are a little bit different. A lot of our clients are podcasters, so they use our facility to host people in studio, as well as share. A lot of them are artists, and so they share either their content, if they're comedians or musicians or actual artists. They share their art through our medium or our media, their medium through our media. Hey, that's what I meant to say. And so, yeah, like I said, there's no two jobs are the same.
Sweet. Yeah, so far we've been doing a little bit of like unscripted. Would it be cool to like do a demonstration of what maybe doing like some scripted material would look like inside of Edge Studios?
Absolutely.
Cool. So I'm going to just turn on this laptop. Actually, you want to cut the video over to me really quick just so I can sync the audio production on this other side of things?
You got it.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm just going to turn on this laptop here. I'm going to use this to be able to control our camera. So actually, if you want to flip open your little lid over there, because what I'm thinking about is we can go back and forth reading our lines and filming on the other one. If you flip open the back here. You can just flip the lid back and it'll turn it on that way. And you can rotate it around to get it. You can just, twist it. It only goes one way. Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. Cool. And I'll twist this so you can see it as well, Paul.
Okay.
So this is actually Silly's computer that we're booting up into right now. Let me press record over on this and get it going. I'm pretty sure that's inside of camera 2. So the password, if it's not on my personal computer of Silly's, is actually going to be Ghost, which is GH057. And enter. Oops. And enter. So that booted up straight into the screenplay on my side of things. Actually, if you, on your end, switch back to the landing page.
Got it.
And then if you scroll actually all the way to the top on the landing page, we'll come back down to that. I'm sorry for making you work so much.
No, that's all right.
But click the escape button in that top left corner.
Just right over here.
Yeah, that right there. So that's going to load up, and that's going to actually be all of the code. Please load.
Of course it's going to load.
So that's all the code that we're actually looking at on the landing page that we were just kind of going through. Like, do you want to play elves, hypertext markup elves? So over on this laptop here, I've got the same thing. So I'm going to press the play button now, and that's going to pull open. I've got a video module. It's going to take a second to load, but we can use this to pull in our monitor, so we actually have all of our camera stuff. So
Okay.
can you see me there?
I can see me, and I can see...
Yeah, so let's have it. I'll point at you. You want to point at me?
Sure. Just because I can flip my hands one more time.
Yeah, perfect. All right, okay, cool. All right, so then that's already all wired up. So we can switch between those two cameras. All right, so then I think we're good to go. If you want to press close in that top right button on yours. And then let's scroll back down to the script again. All right. Do you want to run through this with me?
Sure, let's do this.
All right, cool. All right, so I'll be the narrator, so you just have to do your lines. Is that cool?
Sounds good to me. Let's do this thing.
All right. Recording studio. A couple podcasters sit in a booth. Paul, an experienced comedian, interviews Ty, an amateur. My first crush? Oh, man, that's embarrassing.
Out with it.
Okay. But you need to understand, I was a kid too back then.
First crush bit. We're all kids. Cut the pretext. Keep it tight.
So I was terrified of dinosaurs. Was anyone else afraid of dinosaurs? Paul nods along. All right, keep scrolling down. How old were you when you first saw Jurassic Park?
Nice opening up to a little crowd work.
I was 5. Look, I'm not the first one to propose draconian parental controls, but 5 was too young for genetically modified dinosaurs in Hawaii trying to gobble up little kids in the kitchen.
Is this the kitchen relevant? That line was a bit long. Cut something somewhere.
The kitchen scene hit home. My mom worked the school cafeteria. My imagination is vivid. I saw no difference between a film set and my reality.
And that's the scene with the kids? You were a kid? Got it. Go on.
Her name was Lex, okay? Did anyone else have a crush on Lex?
I'm Spielberg's age, so definitely not.
I was a kid!
Right. What about this girl?
Okay. Do you remember the plot of the entire movie?
Yeah, it was a commentary on biotechnology and disastrous consequences. A thin veil painting scientists that genetically spliced dinosaurs as villains.
That's what Hollywood wanted you to see!
Oh, God, I walked into it.
All right, you can scroll down a little bit more.
Oh, we gotta go down.
I put some fake ads in there for us too.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on.
Gotta really sell the
okay.
deal there. The real story in Jurassic Park was the subplot following Lex and her brother Tim, a Dungeons and Dragons campaign I'm calling Lawyers and Laboratories. Keeping a long story short, the villains in Jurassic Park were not the dinosaurs, the scientists, or even the bumbling billionaire that funded the thing. Dennis Nedry, computer programmer, playing every side of the same coin, calling a quarter 50 cents in Schrodinger's economy, the original crypto bro. His software controlled all the hardware throughout the entire park. Remember, the adults in the film were facing not just the dinosaurs in the jungle, but technical hijinks along the way. Do you remember how and when the adventures in Lawyers and Laboratories regained all control of the systems in the park?
Do you know how long I first and saw? Do you know how long I first and last saw that? I thought it was a movie about dinosaurs. Do I need to read that again?
If you want to read it
Probably.
again. Yeah, let's go for it
Sure.
again.
Do you know how long ago
You got this. You got this.
Do you know how long ago I first and last saw that? I only thought it was a movie about dinosaurs.
Lex, she saved the day.
And there's the little thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so this girl, what? Was a hero that turned you on?
Actually, you want to play that really quick? Just so we can, will it capture the audio from that too?
Yes, it will.
All right, let's do that.
Hold it by yourself! It's a Unix system. I know this. It's all the files of the whole park. It tells you everything. I gotta find the right file.
It's a Unix system. I know this. All right. She saved me from the dinosaurs, Paul. Her entire story arc, Sans the Dinosaurs, was the most believable, technically sound plot I've ever experienced to date.
Oh my God. She's your into. Wait. Oh my God. She's why you're into computers. Feeling confused? Collaborate like a like minded player in like minded places.
Book a workshop. Ariana Richard played Lex. I swear I'm not a stalker, just doing my homework for this bit. When presented with the opportunity to be a famed Hollywood actress, she retired because she loved painting. Attractive through and through. What's not to get into her over computers, Paul?
She's still too young for me, and you're married too. Or did I blow that line? She's still young for me. Wait, she's still young for me, and you're married. I'm married too.
This is where things start to get really interesting.
Oh, God.
My wife does business operations for a biotechnology company in South San Francisco, the one Jurassic Park is based on. They still use the same core Unix system from Jurassic Park.
Is that proprietary information?
Is the fact that every technology company, and not just Silicon Valley, but Silicon Everywhere's running their employee access management systems through ancient Bell Labs tech proprietary? No, Paul. It's just so boring that it only gets 15 seconds in a blockbuster film, despite it being the reality suspension device used to set the film on Earth 616.
Whoa, guy.
Sorry. I get worked up because my business objective is trying to sell Jurassic Park scale information technology systems that are technically backwards compatible with the not actually fictional system featured in Jurassic Park. Not only that, but I'm literally compatible with every Main Street chip on the market today.
This is an ad?
This is an ad.
Okay, so what about your wife at work?
When you think about it, I kind of did marry the girl from Jurassic Park. Just a real life version.
Aww. Need a scalable turnkey solution? Consider end-to-end support and services solutions. Deploy a fleet.
Love it. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about. So I've been trying to ground elves in reality too.
Remind me what elves is again?
The starter Lawyers and Laboratories campaign I'm devising to teach international workshops on Plan 98.
Is this a physical pen and paper kind of thing, or is a virtual kind of thing?
Both. And a movie. I'm in talks with Mattel about a Treasure Mountain branding collaboration set in the Barbie cinematic universe, with Ariana reprising her role as Jurassic Lex Barbie to teach girls to paint and code. But that's all I can say at this time. We'll have printed character sheets to play fully offline, but the same sheet has a digital version to keep playing online later after the film festival workshop.
Have you tested this game on anyone already?
What do you think we've been playing this whole time?
I don't have a character sheet. What are you keeping track of my status on?
Ha, no. This is a high fantasy campaign. We keep the math light and the jokes thick.
Are we in a Lawyers and Laboratory campaign right now?
Of course we are. It started as an idea. I wanted to make Allen's bar more famous than the German bar up the street that was the centerpiece in the Gizmodo bought an iPhone 4 that was left in a Silicon Valley bar campaign.
The bar we met at. The bar where you had your comedy debut. Why there? Let me try it again. Okay. The bar we met at? The bar where you had your comedy debut? Why there?
I like that you're hosting comedy, Paul. I was a sad tech boy back then.
All right. Flattered, continued Dungeon Master.
That terminology is actually proprietary, so I'd prefer if you didn't call me that pronoun specifically, even though I identify with your usage of the term in spiritual practice.
Game Master?
I am pretty good at games, but let's just call me Player 1, since I want to also play and win the game, not just be an arbitrary system arbiter that stacks the deck in their favor.
Player 1, continue. Expand your capabilities by networking with exclusive club membership perks. Tag a friend. All right, I tried.
No, it's perfect.
All right.
Sweet. And the battery just died at the very
Did
end
it?
on that one.
Okay,
I wasn't
cool.
doing the switching over here, but
And then we'll stop this. You have 21 minutes here.
actually before we stop that, one more thing really quick.
Okay, so should I cut back to your camera, sir?
Yeah, if you want to come back to my camera.
Okay, so
Yeah.
back here live.
All right, so we're back here live. I'll pull up this screen again, I think. Is this one? Actually, no, I think that was probably good. I think that was a good set. So we
Okay.
can probably wrap that there.
All
I'll
right.
stop it.
Cool.